Just before the lockdown occurred, I was fortunate enough to have my daughter and son-in-law and 2 grandchildren come to live with us for the last month or so that it's been. And I've been blessed that I've been part of their education, so to speak. I've really enjoyed being involved in their teaching, their learning, because it's sort of back to where I started my teaching, just working with the kids, which is fantastic. I've been blessed. It's great. I'm Leon McAlpine. I taught in the Gippsland area in the primary schools for over 40 years. I retired at 55 and now work as a labourer in the tree lopping industry. I think there'll be many positives come out of this episode that we're going through now. Parents are going to have a better relationship with their kids and understand that a lot of the subject matter that's being taught in schools is maybe not as necessary as some people think they are. And that the 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic, and life skills are far more important than they probably realise. The other day we were building a tree house. We used a set square, and River now understands what a right angle is and a 90-degree angle is, whereas he had no idea before. So that incidental teaching is so valuable. It doesn't have to come out of a book. There, like that, and have that side right against there, and that will be 90 degrees. So if we just get on with general life skills and doing a bit of reading and writing, I don't think we're going to miss a beat. When I was a young fella coming out of Teachers College, you'd walk down the street and everybody wanted to say good day because you were held in a pretty high esteem. Whereas nowadays, I think we've slipped down the ladder and teachers aren't revered anywhere near as much as what they were. And I think perhaps after this episode of COVID virus that the teachers are held in a much better light in the community.
My name's Grace. I'm a mum of 3 gorgeous boys, Josh, Sam and Tom. And I'm also a primary school PE teacher, so I teach at one of the local primary schools. I think I loved school growing up. I always loved my sport. My dad was a teacher, so I think that sort of showed me what that was like. Yeah, just something that I enjoy. I love being around kids, love working with kids and being active.
So this is the machine that you guys have built with Mummy and Daddy whilst you've been in isolation.
Yep.
It's awesome. So how does it work, boys?
I'll show you.
You gonna show us?
Yep. It's pretty loud.
It's pretty loud, is it? What? Can I hop on? Can I hop on? You leave it without me! Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. And do you get to drive it? That is fantastic. How good's that? I bet that's a story you're going to be telling all your schoolmates when you get back to school.
Yeah.
So now I've gone from working 3 days on site at school, so I'm really on the go all the time with the kids, to now being at home in front of a computer. So juggling teaching, juggling keeping them going, and still trying to be in touch with my students. Communicating with them is probably the thing I miss the most in that relationship with my students. So there definitely is silver linings. It's different but good. Just the relationship, the time that you perhaps wouldn't have to have done things. I know for these boys, their dad's really hands-on. They've learnt how to weld. They've made a go-kart and an electric scooter. Having the time to tap into their interests and passions. We can't go to the gym anymore. Our sports been taken away, but we've been doing family workouts and taking turns to do that sort of thing. I just love the different conversations that we've had and different things we've been able to look in and explore as a family.
I heard somebody say the other day that we're not in isolation, we're in incubation. And if we look at it that way, we can find all of those beautiful things that we can grow in and we can learn from. Yeah. And I think if more of us took that approach to it, that the world could really become a better place.
Oh, absolutely.